Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the conversation Your Experience Matter with Njoki De Caro, expert by experience, and our guest of honor, Kagure Wow, and of course, my humble self, Vera Sompon. I am your host. Today, we are going to be going back to our childhood experiences, and two amazing, I call them my mothers and mommies, will be telling us the experiences of their childhood. How was your childhood? What were those very challenging moments you think you want to share with us, relate with us, and how did you overcome those challenging moments? How can we learn from your childhood experience? Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss this conversation. I will implore you to invite a friend, invite another sister who may just need this encouragement for tonight. Stay tuned as we go into the conversation. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the conversation. Your experience matters. And today in studio, we are having two amazing mothers. My first guest is Mommy Njoki De Caro, experts by experience. And of course, we also have Mommy Kagure Wow, another amazing woman with a story that will transform you and inspire you for tonight. I'm going to begin straight away with my guest of honor, Mommy Kagure Wow, who says the people who are loved by God and appointed by God go through hardship so that they can show the greatness of God. Mommy, you're welcome to my studio. This is your platform. Tell us more about who you are and why do you say people who are loved by God go through lots of hardship?
Praise the Lord. My name's Kagure Wow, and I come from Kenya, and now I'm in Netherlands. And it is a long journey since I was born. Why I say people with appointed by God go through a lot, because what I have gone through as a child, as a young girl, up to where I am a witness of what God can do, and the devil does not charge the one who is weak. He challenges the one who is strong, because he likes to destroy the destiny that the Lord has put on that child. I'm one witness who have gone a lot. One, I was born by a single mother. As I was told, I don't know my father. I have never seen my father.
We're going to come to that conversation, ma'am. This was your
Yeah.
introduction. I'm going to come to that conversation. I'm so curious to get all the details of that
Okay.
conversation. But
All right.
before we get to that conversation, let's welcome Mommy De Caro. Mommy De Caro, you say that, and I quote you, um, age is just a number. We have to keep learning all the days of our lives. And I'm particularly grateful to see you and to have you on studio. Tell us more about who you are and why do you say we have to learn all the days of our life? You're welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Once again, I am Njoki De Caro, and I also come from Kenya, and I'm here in Germany. And I want to say that learning doesn't stop unless you want to stop. But you learn all the days of your lives, because every year, every session, I come to have something that I didn't know. Now, when this experience of networking and all these things, in fact, I had a telephone, but I didn't know how to use it. Thanks God, because the lockdown was there and it has locked us up. And when it locks you up, you start unlocking it. So we are unlocking it through now talking to people. And in this way, we are learning. We are learning every day. And it will never end. You can get a diploma when you are 90. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mommy De Caro. You can get a diploma even at the age of 90, and why not 100 if God tarries and gives you the grace. Now, I'm having two amazing women. I want to start with you, Mommy Kagure. In our conversation this morning, when I was about to interview you, I asked you the few things. What would you want people to know about your childhood, and why do you think it's so peculiar? Tell us more about your childhood. Oh, sorry, I have to unmute you. Go on, ma'am.
Why I want to talk about my childhood, because maybe there is somebody who is struggling of her back struggle, and she is unable to come out of it. So I want to tell somebody out there, it has not been losses. It has not been give and take. We must struggle for everything, because I was brought up in a big home of many wives as my grandparents. As you know, African men used to marry so many wives. As they dump this one, they get another one. But this time in my home, we were all there. My grandfather had married 13 women.
What?
And me, I met 7. The rest were getting children, and they could not bear another one come behind her. So those ones, they were leaving the marriage. But me, I was raised there by my grandmother, because my mother, when she was 14, she was raped by a man, and she gave birth. In fact, my age difference with me and my mother is 15 years. I am her firstborn girl, and I was raised by a grandmother, because 14 years old girl 15 cannot be able to raise a child. And I was born that time there was war in Kenya. So it was hard. My grandmother was the one who was carrying me, and my mother was still there, a young mother who don't know anything, and they are in fear. So for protection, my grandmother is the one who I hear was carrying me and taking care of me. Now, as I was about 1 year and a half, my mother came to love somebody. So I got a stepfather, and not knowing my real father. Now I have a second father. When she was pregnant with my follower, my brother, she asked the mother, "Can I go with her so that she can be staying with the baby when I am working?" So my grandmother released me, as I hear, and we stayed with my mother. But what I remember is the brutalness of the husband. When he is fighting my mother, he used also to beat me, because I can't release my mother's clothes. I'm holding on it because I am trying to come in between them. And now, because of my obstacle, my stepfather could hit me and throw me on the ground. So that thing came in me, that I can be able to say stop, I can be able to speak up, and it started building in me. It went on. My mother got another pregnancy, and the fight was still continuous. And it came so much. We could learn to my grandmother, and then he comes and get us back, and my mother could not leave me. Then he got another pregnancy, the third one. That was worse. That was when things fell apart because the stepfather had already a relationship. I could not know why, what is it, but I knew there was in the neighborhood where he used to go to a woman. I could hear all the fight when they are speaking. There is a woman my father was having a relationship with 4 children, and us we are 3. Now they were 4 because of the baby who has come. And the fight went on even when she came from hospital. When she was about 2 weeks, she was beaten severely. And me, I am in between them. I was hit with a torch because the man was going. And I think that now that I grew up, I could understand. Maybe they were fighting, where are you going? That's what I think. Because he was holding a torch and he started beating my mother with a torch on her head. So I came between them and he hit me also. Not by coincidence, not by bad luck. He did it knowing he is hitting me. And I started bleeding, my nose bleeding. And then my mother fell down. You know, she was still weak. Now I understand because I'm a mother. When you give birth, you become weak. So she became weak and fell down. And he thought she is dead. She pulled her. She told me to hold the baby and follow them to take her to the hospital. So I hold of my small sister. I followed them in the dark. We landed in a forest. There is a very big forest in Kenya called Aberdares. And we entered, and I didn't know where he is taking us. But what I remember, and it has never come out of me, is my mother was kept sleeping on the upside down, the back, and then the baby was put on the chest. And me, I sat down there, and it is in the dark. I did not see my stepfather again. We were there, 3 of us. My mother is not speaking. I am crying. The baby is crying. We are in the cold during the night, and the man has left. What I thought, God was using me even in my baby age. I thought if I go and look for women who will go early in the morning to look for water, I will get help for my mother. Let me tell you, the more I entered in, the more I got lost, because I am just walking in the forest. And I remember I could see animals because it was full of animals. But I went, and I don't know. I went until I found another village, not where we have come from, another village. That's where I met with women very early in the morning, going to fetch water. I called them, and they were afraid because I'm coming from the forest, and nobody goes to the forest because of animals. And they greeted me, and I'm crying. They asked me, why are you crying? Said my mother is sick here inside. Where? Here inside with the baby. How? That's a lie. I said, it's not a lie. They get hold of me. They agreed together. They go back home with me to look for men to come and search my mother. And the rest went, carried the other women's jug of water, so that they bring water to them and me to be taken home. We went to their village. They looked for men. They heard my story. They took spears and then entered the forest. They searched for my mother. And when I saw they have stayed, I ran away. in the forest again. I don't know the direction. I went around and I could not see anybody or meet anything. I wandered in the forest, and later when I heard what happened, my mother, because of the cold and I think God's hand was upon her, she also saw that she is in the forest when she woke up. Her child is in the chest, and she crawled, and they went crawling because she could not stand and walk. She went crawling until she found other women on her village coming back from the river. She was then they knew because they knew her some, and then they picked her and they took her to look for a car and took her to the hospital. Hospital was far, and she was taken to the general hospital of that city, and she was admitted. Me, I'm left. I cannot be able to come out because the forest is so big. I tried to go around. I became hungry. I remember, and it is a long time, that I knew the farms were having a lot of food. That time, the food was so much in the farms. So what I did, I was picking the potatoes and follow a man hiding myself. They used to smoke at the dump a small cigarette. I could take that small filter and they put fire and they make fire on it, and I put the potatoes in the fire.
I want the story is so. I want to come in. How old were you?
I was about 7, 8 years.
What?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the conversation. Your experience matter, and this is an experience that really matters. I'm hoping that you will get inspired by this conversation today. And I have promised these two ladies that at the end of our conversations, I don't know how long it's going to take, that we want to come out with a booklet for them, a book that could inspire other people and other generations. If you're out there and you are a writer, if you're out there, you like writing, please get in touch with us so that we can work on this program together. Thank you. Now, Mom, Mommy Kagure, I'm going to come back to you. I want to ask a question to Mommy De Caro. When you hear she's an adult now talking, how is it with you? Did you experience this kind of hardship? And she said the people God loved, they go through hardship so that the name of God be glorified. I am hearing the story and I'm scared. I think I don't want to go through this hardship for God's name to be glorified. What do you think, Mommy De Caro?
Well. Her story is one and a half. Because I was born the first born of a love family. So my family and my whole life have never gone into what she has done. Although I have my experiences, those who are all in other experiences, but her experiences, when she once told me my hair was standing, I could not sit down. But now I know it, and I have listened to her tell it 1,000 times. It makes me know another part of life. That is why I learned that life can continue even if it is worse.
Yes, life can continue. And that's what she says. And she says, God, when God loves you so much, He makes you suffer so much. Mommy Kagure, tell us more. Why do you think Why do you say that? If God loves us so much, He makes us suffer that much or go through this hardship. Because you were 7 years old. You did not write any application letter to be raped. You did not tell anybody to bring you forth to this world. Your mother was a young girl who was raped. It wasn't your fault. And why did you have to go through these challenges so that God's name be glorified in your life?
One, as we shall continue with this story, I have my side best.
Thank God.
There is myself in a best way.
Hallelujah.
And it is not because of higher educated woman.
Mm-hmm.
No. It is not because I somebody gave me a hand. No.
Mm-hmm.
Because of those hardships, I knew how to handle myself and to fight for my space.
Wow, I like this. Because of the hardship, you knew how to fight for your space. Tell us more about the spaces you captured as a result of the fight.
Okay, now after all that we went through and in the forest and roasting for a long time, my parents, who is my mother and my grandfather, my grandmother, they all thought that I was eaten by animals in the forest. And it came a time that God gave me an idea. The idea was a reminder of how we used to travel with my mother. When you sit next to a woman in a bus, the conductor does not change the girl or the child. So what I did, I woke up. I woke up very early in the morning, and I went in a bus, and I sat with a woman, because no woman will ask you who is with you, because he doesn't know where the next one, whether it is your mother. So I went between a seat of
That was
two.
so smart. Very smart.
Yes. Praise the Lord. So I sat between two to confuse them that I belong to this and he belong to this. So I had nobody to ask me, where are you going? So I went to that with that matatu. We call it matatu, with the private cars in Kenya. Then I had to board another one which would take me, and I was still remembering the bus and the stage. And I went again between two other women. But when I reached half of the way going to my grandmother's place, one moved. So I was left in a corner without a support of one another. So when the conductor came and asked, take the fare from the other woman, then she looked and said, "Who is with this one?" The woman, because you remember, I have never taken shower. There is no even bath. So I had developed another color, dark color. I had hair all over my face. I was somebody else with rags in my body because of the clothes that I went in with in the forest. So I don't have clothes. I am not a girl that somebody can hold hands. I am a reject. I am rejected even in the bus. But the bus was not stopping when this man was still asking me questions. Where are you going? And he screamed at me. And I could not stand the scream of a man. Even today, I don't like hearing a man screaming, shouting, and banging the door or the table. I have that trauma. So now, when I mentioned my grandfather, he was known. They all became protector of me now. They all want to hold me because it was in the news in the villages that there is a child got lost in a forest and she was eaten by animals. Now they are asking me, are you Kagure? Are you the one who is called Kagure? I'm saying, yes, I'm Kagure. Oh my God, where have you come from? Then the whole bus went up to my grandmother's gate. Nobody wanted to come out. Everybody wanted to protect me and take me back there. And when we reached there, they started hooting. My mother could not wake up, but she could hear the hooting because I heard she stayed in the hospital for 6 months. And that 6 months, she was not well because she was almost paralyzing from the waist because of the depression and the way she was beaten. And now because of also the rejection of coming back home as a girl, as a woman, you are a prostitute now with children. You get another rejection from your same family. So to her, and knowing that she lost a child in the forest, it oppressed her mind. Now I have come. I am shouting. I'm calling my grandmother all over. And my mother is hearing, but she is saying it is the voices that always she hear about me. Then my grandmother is hearing the voice. They are saying, today is very clear. I'm hearing her. The other one is saying, you will get mad. Let this girl rest in peace. Then she is saying, no, today is too much. Then the other one said, hey, even me, I have heard. I witnessed. So they came running to me and they get hold of me. They started screaming. You know the African way of screaming. So they screamed. So every village, they started coming to our home to ask what is happening. And then they found that the girl that got lost, the child that we lost, God has protected the child, is here with us. For the first time to see a man, my grandfather, who was so brutal also, cried. She said, you are blessed of God. The gods of our fathers have protected you. So now I was in that home with another trauma. Women are many. You know how the problem of many other women. This one is jealousy of the other. This one is thinking this one will poison the other. This one, those kind of drama I went through. And because of the rejection of being, my mother is not a married woman now, we were called the children of a prostitute. And it was life. I got opposition of my big family. And I had something that I didn't know. I always fought for my space and for the truth. And
Ma'am,
that
your
gained a
story
lot of.
is so emotional. I mean, if the story is so emotional, you're such a powerful woman. When when I listen to you, I'm like, goodness, will I overcome it if I were,
Yes.
if I was in your shoes? And then I understand what you mean by, if God truly loves someone, he will let you go through a certain kind of hardship. I mean, you didn't call for to be birthed at the age of 7. You didn't do all this. Nonetheless, you had already leadership skills in you, the ability to see injustice and call it by the name injustice. Ma'am, tell me a little more further. After you have overcome all this challenge, this rejection, have you been able to forgive that your stepfather? Have you ever thought of even checking your own biological father? Has it ever occurred to you? And what about your mother today? I'm curious to know more about her. How is she faring?
One, my mother is very strong. Njoki knows her. She is there. She is now going 80, and
Wow.
she is strong. She is a strong woman. She got more children. In fact, after me, 8. And
Wow.
that at the at that time when she was getting those children, she could not be able to stay with the children. I have raised my brothers and sisters myself in the rejection mood. I was still raising other children because my mother is working. She has delivered. So she was bringing either a brother or a sister to me and my grandmother. I know how to handle a child and fight for them because they are coming in a place where they are already rejected, called names. But my grandmother was a strong woman at the very, very center. She used to put boundaries. You cannot cross here. You cannot be given food by another woman you eat. If you eat and hide, you will be caned and you will vomit. Highly disciplined. Because she knew that we are a rejected children. So she protected us. She used to...
I don't know if she's still alive, but I'm so
No,
impressed.
she died. She died, but she saw what she brought up. She died.
Amen.
She died when I was in a position, elected in a politician. She knows,
Oh,
even my
wow.
grandfather.
Now tell me, so you were now a politician after going through all this rejection. How did the people
Yes,
now accepted you?
let
Amazing
me tell you.
story.
Yes. Now what happened? I grew up very strong, fighting for my space, and then when I got to go to secondary school, I went to Form 1, Form 2. When I'm going to Form 3, I became pregnant. I had to drop from school. And let me tell you something. I was brought up in a very big family and it was not poor. But they could not help me. They could not help us because of this mark of children of the prostitute.
Mom, I'll come back to you. Mommy De Caro, how do you go about with rejections? When you have you ever experienced rejection? Because what she says is a very tough kind of rejection, and she did not apply to have that kind of experience, and it just happened. Let's come back. Let's fly the plane now from Kenya and then land to the diaspora in Germany. While in Germany, or have you ever also in your own life, Mommy De Caro, experienced these kinds of rejections? And how do we go about? How do we overcome such rejections? I'm going to come back to you, Mommy Kagure, but Mommy De Caro, tell me, how do we overcome rejections?
To be very sincere, I was born in a family that was very lovely. And I didn't know anything about rejection, and I didn't know anything except love. But when I went to when I went to the first marriage and I went to the relatives and friends, I found out rejection. But I always tell people, I have one thing in rejection. I told you, Vera, the last time, the talk will be only 3 days. And the fourth day, it will be a new topic. So up to now, if you reject me, I don't give a damn. I'll still go on and I'll never look behind. That is my motto, and I fight for that. And I fight it because I tell the people, if you cannot talk because the other people will talk, then you'll be dumb. So you better be dumb. But I'll never be dumb. I'll talk and talk and talk until I die.
You
Thank
talk
you.
and talk and talk until you die. I like that reminder. You reminded us, you said that last time. People can only gossip for as much as 3 days, and I keep remembering those words, and it gives me much more courage and inspiration to go further, because then I know, oh, it's just a matter of let the first day come past, the second day, the third day, and the next day everything is forgotten. Thank you very much, Mami De Caro, for reminding us again that, hey, forget about the forms and the different kinds of hearsays and all those stories, because it takes only 3 days, and after that life goes on as though there was nothing. Mommy, Kagure, I'm coming back to your story, and Elvis is reminding us of what you say, and you have said this several times. She always fought for her space. I thank God for giving you the grace to overcome all this. Tell us, ma'am, how did you fight for your space?
Now I got married, and I was talking. I used to talk. I think because of the way I got a problem in the forest. I used to talk to myself. And even today, I meet myself calling myself name. Kagure, you will make it. Kagure, you will not be. You will not be ashamed. Even if they try to do what? Kagore, you will make it. I even talk to the mirror myself, because I lived to talk to myself, because nobody understands me. Nobody will listen to me. And when they listen to me, they will say, they reject me again. So I used to talk to me. So myself is my partner. Who listens to me and it encourages me, myself. So now, when I got married, I had said, God, if you will ever give me, if every girl must marry, I ask you, God, I will never marry a second wife, and I will never marry a rich man, because I see my grandmothers being beaten when they do something. Either the cow have died, or something happening in the home. You are careless. It is my things you are destroying. All those things, everything the man is saying, mine, 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 mine. So I said, I pray, when I get a man to marry me, if it is a must, a girl must marry, I will marry somebody who is not rich, so that whatever we get, it is ours. We
Thank
will
you
never.
very much. I like this. Just hold on there. We have to continue in this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a young girl, wherever you are, and you're listening to our conversation, I pray that it inspires you to see beyond just the material things, because there is more to life than just being one of the properties or an object to another person. Mommy, thank you. Please continue.
So now the prayer was answered. I met this man. He is not rich. He is where he comes from. Even it is me who seems as if we have something. And I got in love with this man, and I got my firstborn and my secondborn. And I am still now raising up. I had, there is an interview of ladies who want to be educated. They can be educators of family planning when family planning came. So I left the two children with the neighbor, because I got two children quickly. My neighbor, I told her, please watch for me, these children, I'm coming. I went to the interview, and I didn't know, when you come to interview, you must have applied, or you have been invited for the interview. And my husband then already had an accident. He was in the hospital with a broken foot and a lot of damages. Now I'm a housewife without money, without anything. Even I had tried to go to the market to sell. My dear viewers, I went and queued in the line. People were called according to the names of application. And it went on until 5. When all the ladies had done the interview, I was just sitting down there. The one who was calling names asked me, young girl, I was 19. Young girl, what are you doing there? I said, I have come for the interview. Which interview? And your name is not in our list. I said, maybe you. I said, yeah, I'm coming for interview. I want somebody to interview me. I even didn't know you can't command for somebody to come and interview you. And then I am pushing myself to the door. And the people who are doing the interview, they are hearing now the argument of the one who is calling the lady and me. I said, no, I'm not going. I want somebody to hear me. Do you know I was told, let her come and tell us, all of us, what she wants. That is the power of looking for your space.
The power of looking for your space. But you must be very courageous to look for your space.
What you don't need to do is don't be afraid. Don't know too much. I don't want to tell the people who drive the car when they are told to go to no entry and no entry. Me, I went head on. And these people gave me time to listen to me. I said, sir, I could see somebody sitting there in front. Sir, me, I have come for the interview. I was told, what is your name? I said, my name is Josephine Kagure. Where do you come from? I said, where I came from, the estate I was staying in Nyeri. Then they said, okay, what do you want to do? What do you know what kind of interview the people are doing? I said, I'll be told by you people what interview, but what I heard, you are looking for the ladies who wants to be educated as field educators, family planning. I said, okay, you have heard that? Yes. And I am ready. And a lady who is suffering. I was asked, why are you suffering? I said, one, I have 2 children. I want to stop giving birth. I go back to school. Yes. My husband is in the hospital here, admitted because he had an accident. If I can get chance of working I will be educated. I will be able to talk to other women, other girls, not to get pregnancies without planning. All of them, they sat down to listen to me. Starting asking me questions from right, left. How old are you? I'm 19. And do you have 2 children? Yes. Tell us, how did you get 2 children? I started analyzing my story of my mother with 8 other children after me. And she got all that because there was no family planning. You know, I was told to go and sit down somewhere. Then they called me back. They told me, do you have an address? So that when we call again for an interview, we shall invite you. I said, yes, I can use my husband's address, post address, so that I know I can receive the letter. Then I gave the address. My dear viewers, after 3 days, I got the letter. I was successfully admitted. I was told the best of all the ladies who did the interview was the one who was not invited. I started from there now. And that is what gave me the position after working for 4 years. That is what it gave me, a platform of representing the people I was working for and the villagers I was attached to, telling them about family planning.
What an amazing story.
Yes. And as I continued, I met men in a group. They called me and asked me, "Have you heard that the president have announced elections, and we must know who we are going to elect this place?" I said with the jokes, "Why can't you elect me?" And I left. Do you know, in the evening, when I came back, I met a delegation of people sitting in my house, and all of them, they are studying when I enter. I said, "Yeah." They told me, "We have heard that you declared you are going to represent us." That is how that is how my campaign started, without any money.
In fact, now I understand when you said the people God have appointed and love, they go through hardship,
Yes.
but for the glory of God, and so that
Yes.
they can witness what God has done for them.
So
This story,
the campaign continued. Without anything, the husband that I could call a supporter became very sick because he knew that I have ashamed him by looking for a political position, and how hard it is as a woman. And I am young. I'm telling you, I continued pushing, and the 8 men were against me. Thank God I got it, and I was called. Even I didn't know that you get people to go and count your votes. I was not there because I didn't know. The following day, when I was announced during the night, that is when they came for me. "You are the winner. Come and take your possession." I became a council representative. That time we were calling them councillors, but now they are called MCAs. I went there and I told God, "You have given it to me in a special way. It is not planned. I did not plan for it. You have just selected me. I will lead the people with the truth. I will not be corrupt like what I hear, and I will represent the people who are rejected." And I did that. So one day, I was sitting in the meeting of all the members, and I saw our secretary at that time, come in with a note, passed on, written my name. And it came, and it was given to me. When I opened, I read this: "Your father want to see you at the reception." I looked again at the back of of the paper,
what
and I
father?
saw it is my name. I asked myself,
I have a question.
Go on, ma'am.
Which father are we talking about? The beating father or your real father?
Now I don't know because I have read, I'm going to hear who is the father, and I'm excited.
Okay, go on.
So now I showed my the sitting commissioner next to me and told him, have I ever told you I have a father? She said, I have never had. My father is calling me at the reception. He said, hey, go and see. So I passed on. I went out. Who do I find as a father? The stepfather who beated me. I knew him because he looked exactly like my brother and my sister. I greeted him and he greeted me. And I said, oh, you have come for a visit. He said, yes, I come to say hello to you. I told the secretary, can you open the councillor's office? I want to talk to him there. So we were given the office. We went there, sat down, and first he confessed. He told me, I know children don't forget. I said, you are right. I know what you went through me. Yes. I want first to ask for forgiveness. I said, okay. And then when you forgive me, I will talk to you now. I looked at him and I said, who am I not to say yes? And also, he is coming to beg because he knows who I am now. Yes, it is because of the Lord I will say yes. Yes, I will forgive you. When he forgave me, he told me he have prayed and it said, and he prepared himself to come and tell me I'm the Joseph who was done all sort of things. And when the brothers came to look for him, he did not revenge. I said, oh, okay. Please, thank you for forgiving me. Now, after forgiving me, I want to ask you for an appointment. You are a reader, and I know when you are reading people, you can see anybody. I'm coming on a capacity of anybody. Can you give me an appointment to come and talk to you? I said, I have no problem. And I hope, that is what I added, and I hope you are not coming, we talk about my mother. If you are coming to me as because I am a reader, I will talk to you. But when you come to me that you want us to talk because of the relationship you had with my mother, no. That is yours and my mother, not me. She said, it is not because of that. I said, all right. Is it urgent? She said, it's a bit urgent. I said, because we have a full meeting here and I can't miss, can you come tomorrow? She said, yes. At 1, we shall not talk here. We shall talk in a certain hotel. She said, yes. Because I wanted him to be free. So we went in the hotel the following day and I met him. We ordered something to drink and eat together. And then I told him, tell me what you want to tell me. What he told me, it was the time of crashes. De Caro knows about it. It was the time of crashes, 1992, where Kenya was having a tribal fight. And they were displaced with the family. And there were so many, they were staying in a school, a church compound. And when they were talking in the evening, they said they have tried everybody to reach the president to help them. Then they started calling names of the people who can reach the president. Then some said they were in the city looking for who can reach the president. And they mentioned me. And she had the names because I had not changed the names. She said, which lady? There is a lady.
So the rejected stone became that powerful cornerstone.
Yes. So they said, if we can be able to get to that lady has a heart of people who have a problem, and she will reach the president. And then they said, let us look for a committee who will go to talk to this lady. Then when he remembered, men remembers wherever they passed. So when he had the names, he knew it is me. He told them, I know somebody who can reach her. Please let me first go alone. I look whether I tell that person to reach to introduce me to that lady. Then I will come back to you. That's why he came alone, because he didn't want the committee to know the stories. They didn't know whether I'm going to reject him. They didn't know whether I will fight back. So he wanted to come alone so that if I shame him, he will be comfortable.
Mommy, your story, we have to continue it. I'm writing it down. I want to give a shout to those who are here. Please, if you're here, just like Levi says, these stories, we want to put them in the form of a booklet. So if you are one of those that are really, really interested in writing stories and also giving back to the society, when you write the story of somebody, then you get to know more about that person. And of course, yes, you're not going to be doing that for free. That is true. If you are someone who really likes writing, please get in touch with us, because we don't want to miss these amazing stories. We want to have them in booklet form so that the generations after us can also still get to learn from it. Mommy, we will not exceed the 58 minutes or the 59 minutes. That's why I would like you to use a few seconds to tell us when you tell your story today, what do you intend people to know? And how can this amazing story transform lives?
One, I would like to encourage that girl, that young girl that sees things are not going well in their family, who is losing hope. That girl can be somebody to change even the situation of their homes, families, village. So I want to tell anybody who sees a child, a bright child, a child that can just need a hand to step and move to the next level, please give a hand. Many people did not give me a hand. I fight it myself. Not all people have that energy. There are some people who need that hand so that they can be able to go to the next level. Thank God, God was with me all through, and I did not give up. Even today, I don't give up. I don't, and I will not. It took me far, and the enemy started coming to me. The people who hated me, I have been called so many times the Joseph, a story of Joseph in Egypt, just because I fought my space and I became somebody. It is that energy that inside you will make you go and reach to your goal. I have not reached the goal yet. I'm still moving on, pushing on. But remember, there is God who is backing you.
Thank
Don't root
you.
up. Don't ruse. Don't forget. He is there watching at you. Calling you a daughter, calling you my son. You will make it. Focus on him. Stay focused. That this is not going, even now today we have this corona. We will make it. We are there to stay. We are going to fight. We not be physical, but we shall be able to join together as we are doing tonight to give hope, to tell somebody it will be okay tomorrow. It will be
Thank
all
you
right.
very much, Mommy. Thank you so
Yes.
much. You are so full of inspiration. Mommy De Caro, a few words as we're rounding up. You've heard these amazing stories.
I
What
am
would you tell
lost.
someone listening?
I'm lost with words because here is total intelligence of a fighting woman who never gives up. And I know her personally. I know she never give up. And I know she doesn't know. She doesn't know money. I know she doesn't know anybody, but she knows only God. And this God is the one who pulls her everywhere she goes. You have not heard the story. That is only the iceberg you have heard. The story is coming. So the next time we'll have a good story. So to all mothers there, I wish you a Sunday good Mother's Day.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I'm also using this platform to say thank you, and I'm wishing you a happy Mother's Day that's
Yes.
coming up on Sunday. That the
Yeah.
God who kept you will
Yeah.
keep keeping you and will give you smiles that only Him can give. Thank you very much for being my
Thank you.
guest. And we are
Thank
going to continue the conversation where we
Yes.
start because you are a bunch of inspiration. You both.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, for joining the conversation today. It was your experience matters. And if you have any experiences you want to share with us, get in touch with us. And if you are a writer, you think you want to write the books of these inspiring women, get in touch with us. And until then, take good care of yourself. Stay connected. God